I have categorized the whole course contents into multiple parts. One is the introduction, and yesterday we have discussed about the cloud applications, what is the architecture, the types of Oracle service types, SaaS, I mean the basically, sorry, deployment options, that is like, no, sorry. So the Fusion architecture, and we have discussed about service types and types of cloud application, that is SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS model, and the cloud deployment options, that is private, public, hybrid, and on-premise options. And I have shown the screenshots of how the my services and my account looks like in the getting started. Getting started is when when we start to implement the Fusion applications, and the administrator receive the email, and where administrator will start receiving emails like this, and where I have walked through the my accounts and my services pages, and how the administrator can maintain the status health check of each of the instances that we own, right? So that is about the cloud portals and what administrator typically do to do the health check in a whole of the Fusion applications. And we have discussed about the functional setup manager, and the functional setup manager, where we spoke about how we can create an implementation project and how we can add offerings, functional areas, features, tasks, and task lists. Okay, so now I will start with the page navigations. So that all goes with getting started category. And then I will start with the security, how the security works in the Fusion application. Security in sense like, typically when we start implementing the project, typically uh, how we can start giving the security, who we can call as administrator, whom we can call as an implementation consultant, whom we can call as the respective owners of the application, like a finance administrator, human resource administrator, a CRM administrator, how we can call that within the company, how we can give the access to the application, how we can define the security. It's actually a very big topic, and very important topic in the Fusion applications. I'm going to talk about how we can define security, how we can create roles, how many kinds of roles we have, and how we can create the roles, how we can inherit the existing roles, and many more things. Okay. Once I define the security, once we get comfortability of who will access what kind of thing, then I will start talking about the integrations, inbound integrations into the Fusion applications. How many ways we can import the data into the Fusion applications, and different tools I'm going to talk about. And then I will talk about outbound integrations, how many ways we can export the data out of the Fusion applications, and what are the reporting tools we have Fusion is offering to us. And I'm going to talk about individual reporting tools. And then I will talk about how we can extend the Fusion applications, and basically it's more about personalizing the screens basically, and what are the various options Oracle has offered us to extend the Fusion applications, and how we can customize it, how we can personalize it, and what is the sandbox, and what are the PS Composer, what is the application composer. I'm going to talk about those things in extending the Fusion applications. And then I'll talk about the approval flow, how the approval flow works in the Fusion applications, and how we can configure the workflows, how we can modify the workflows, how the workflows is different for each individual task, and where are the places we can do the workflow configurations, either in the middleware server, that is BPM, or from the front end application itself. There are various ways to do that, and we're going to talk about that. And last, we're going to talk about the application development framework. It's actually intense development of the Fusion application pages basically. So we're going to talk about how we can create a standalone page using ADF framework, and what are the basics of ADF framework, and how we can deploy the ADF page in the standalone WebLogic server, how we can run it, how we can troubleshoot it, those kind of stuff. And apart from this, as and when we think of any new topics, we'll keep adding it and keep updating the course contents. Okay, so as I covered these things in yesterday's session, now I am going to talk about the page navigations in the Fusion applications. Okay, let's begin with I'm going to sign out. So once we decide, as I said yesterday, once we decide what models we have purchased and what licenses we have acquired, and I have shown you how we can verify what modules we got subscribed to. Once we have that ready, then we should start working on implementation. Before working on implementation, I wanted to make sure we are accustomed with the Fusion page navigations. Typically, what are the basic user interface navigations? How does it look like? So I wanted you to get accustomed with that, and then we can talk about the real implementation stuff. Okay. So as I said, Oracle give the URL to us. Once they give URL, they also provide the username and password to us. Okay. Let us assume they have given some username and password like this. Let us assume that. Okay. And I will talk about several usernames and passwords in upcoming sessions. Okay. Okay. So we are into this Fusion application. Okay. So I have a small PPT which talks about the Fusion navigation overview, and I will navigate through this PPT and I will show it up in the Fusion applications. Okay, right. So Fusion interface, it is, as I said, it's very rich user interface, and it can be operated on many handheld devices. Handheld device means we can operate in the tablets, we can operate in the monitors, we can operate in the laptops, we can operate in the phones, we can operate from everywhere. The reason is it's a cloud-based application. Everything goes with the URL. If you have the URL, you're ready to access the application. As simple as such. It's no more getting hosted in your company network. It means you can access from anywhere, any place, and any device. Okay, so till release 12, coming to the different releases Oracle has released, especially in the SaaS model. So currently we are in release 12, and we had release 11, release 10, release 9. Before that we have release 7, and we have several releases happening every year, and we are in release 12. Everyone is release 12 today, and release 13 is going to be coming from June onwards. Okay, so there are some customers who are in release 13 today. Basically what Oracle is doing, if someone is buying newly as of today, they're giving release 13 directly, but whoever customers are in the Fusion, basically who are using release 12 today, they haven't given release 13 yet. The release 13 is going to be released in the June onwards. So when I say releases like this, so what we typically need to know that is Fusion is very new product and it is getting evolved. Okay, so Oracle is keep on improving the features, keep on adding the functionalities in many modules. Okay, so that is why every year is like an upgrade today. Every year is like an upgrade, a major upgrade you can think of. Every year is getting a major upgrade, and release 13 is coming up in June. That is one of the biggest ever upgrade in the Fusion applications. It is going to come up with a many number of features. Okay, so from release 13 onwards, whatever page we are going to see here, okay, this page is here. If you access the same page from your mobile, this page won't show up in the mobile specific format. Mobile specific format means that whatever the page we are showing here, mobile specific format should get shrink. Maybe we should have less number of icons. Maybe in the proper format it should be like that. But as of today, in release 12, if you access the same URL from your handheld device, it won't be mobile specific format. The page will be bigger. You have to drag on, drag off to look at every icon. Okay, what I meant to say is till release 12, none of the Fusion applications are mobile enabled. If you want to have mobile enabled Fusion application, till release 12, we have to install a separate application called Oracle Tap. I will talk about that after some more.
Question. So, what is the current version we are looking into now? We are looking at a page now, right?
Okay, so it is actually, as it is a demo instance, it is release 13 basically.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
It is release 13. So I was talking about.
Can't we able to see here? In EBS, we can able to see the version.
The version I'm talking about.
About this page, we can able to see the right.
So here we can see that version we are in. We can see that. So basically,
is it release 13?
Release 13B B10 is the version we are here.
Okay. So here we can see middleware also, right? Middleware area.
Yes.
Okay.
That.
So the last one is the application version.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. It is the release 13 P10 actually. So in the June we are going to get 17D. Yeah, that's what it is, and that is a major upgrade. Now, this instance, as it is demo instance, as I said, if any new customer go to Oracle, they are going to give release 13. Okay, I'm talking about ongoing projects. If any company who is already in the Fusion, they are still on release 12, they didn't get chance to have release 13 yet. It is going to be released in June. Okay, and this instance is brand new. That is why it is release 13.
And I have one more quick question, Lakshmi. So who are already using the Fusion applications? So after June, they should move to the 13. Is there any mandatory rule like that or not like that?
Yes, it is a mandatory. So what Oracle will give, Oracle will send out a communication to everyone saying that, hey, release 13 is coming up and going to release from June onwards. And from there, they will give 6 months of time. They'll give 6 months of time and say that pick a date from June to December, pick a date, take a date, whatever date you want to do, upgrade your instance, take a date. And on that date, they will do the upgrade. Let us say your company hasn't chosen any date till October. Example, they will give a deadline actually to pick the date till October. Until October, you didn't pick any date. Then what happens in October is Oracle automatically picks up a date for you between October to December and do the upgrade. And
if it is SaaS and PaaS, they can do that. If it is an on-premises, as you said, yesterday, so what they can do?
Now, if it's even in the PaaS model also, in the PaaS model, they won't pick up just like that. Only in the SaaS model, Oracle give a pick a date and give it to you. Okay. So, and the upgrade, how it happens when the Oracle do the upgrade, how it happens is they will give a window of 1 month between the test and production. So once the test is upgraded, you have 1 month of time to test your test environment completely, your customizations completely, and make sure it is working. And if it is working, then you can allow the Oracle to upgrade production as well. If it is not working, notify Oracle and stop the upgrade of the production. So that's how it will work.
So in case of on-premise, how the upgrade will happen?
In case of on-premise, then it is our responsibility. It is our network team responsibility, our DBA responsibility to the upgrade. So in that case of on-premise.
Yeah, but we have to mandatorily upgrade, right? There is no way, even though it is on-premise.
If it is on-premise, as we are owning the application, it's our choice. If you want to go with that.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Don't want to go, you can.
Okay. Thank you.
All the new releases will be free. They will upgrade to the customer.
If it is SaaS model and PaaS model, Oracle will upgrade it automatically. You no need to. I mean, as I said, it will give a window to choose a date to do the upgrade. If you want, choose the window in the SaaS model. It will automatically upgrades it by giving one specific date. So Oracle will take care of the maintenance completely. So nothing to worry. Okay.
Lakshmi.
Yeah.
Can you tell what are the localizations that are available? Which countries localization as of?
I think they have very number of countries. As far I know, we have around at least 60-70 countries localizations available for us. And if you want to enable any localization in our instance, we have to create a support request with Oracle saying that I want to enable that specific localization in my instance, and they will do it for us. Okay.
we have the India localization?
I think we have. But I will cross check it once again. Let me take a note of it. I think we have the India localization. I think we have, yes. Okay. Okay. Right. Now, this is how it typically, as I said, mobile specific. From release 13 onwards, whatever pages we have, they are adaptable to mobile. They will shrink as per the mobile, and the icons will be adjusted as per the mobile. Okay. Now, coming to our navigation, we are going to talk about the basic navigation and settings and actions, which I will talk about that, how the search pages will work, and what is a work area, what is a smart navigation, and what is embedded help. I'm going to talk about these basic navigations in today's session. Okay. Now, so when you sign into the Fusion application, so I just signed into the Fusion application. When you sign into the Fusion application, you will have Springboard, infolet pages, global area, and navigation menu. It is what it is. So whatever you are seeing here, it is called, the whole things are called Springboard. Okay, it is called a Springboard. Okay, and whatever icons you are seeing here, it is called global area. Okay, and whatever announcements that company will give to us, or what if you have a social networking, social sourcing enabled in your instance, whatever social network integrations, it will show up here. Or if you have any relevant news, any employee news you wanted to publish, example, if you want to publish employee specific news specific to that United States, or if you want to publish announcements specific to China, or if you want to publish announcements specific to maybe in EMEA region. Okay, so you can segregate the announcements. You can publish the announcement or publish the employment news, or you can show up the social integration in these sites, and your image will go here. We can add your image as well. Okay, so this is the typical area in your main page: the Springboard and global area and relevant news, announcements, and social network configuration. And there are something called, whenever you see any, these are all the icons, and every icon is meant in this Springboard. Every icon is meant for specific functionality or a specific module or specific set of tasks. Okay, and if you see any icon without dots like that, if it's 3 dots, it means that there are set of tasks included in this task like this. Okay, if you are not seeing, example, my team is here. If you click on my team has list of tasks. Okay, if you say about me has list of tasks. Okay, if you click on journals, if you see here no dots are there, it means it is a task. If you click on that, you are automatically landing into this general page, and we call it as work area. Okay, it is a work area where we can see the specific application, specific page functionalities. Okay, so that is the difference between the different icons. And again, whatever these are called tasks. And if an icon is there which will has multiple tasks, then this is called a category. Category nothing but set of tasks. Okay, that's so when I say category, it means it is a category and it has multiple tasks. When I say task, it's nothing but a page. We can say, you can think of like that. Okay, so, and it is a global area. So this global area, what does it mean? This global area will be available to whatever page you go. If I go to journals, I can still see this global area. Okay, and see this is a global area from here to here. Okay, whatever page you navigate, this global area will be available. Okay. The reason I'm saying is when you do some customizations on the page, you should know what is available at which place. Okay. And it is a home button. Wherever you go, if you click on home button, you will land into this Springboard. Okay. And it is called favorites and recent items. If you go to any page and if you click on this one, that page will be added to your favorites so that you can navigate to that page, your favorite page, very frequently. Okay. And here we have something called watch list. So if you wanted to add any page in your watch list, you can keep that, and actually it will get erased every 30 days. And if it is called bell notification, typically what happens if anything pending for your approval, or if any task pending for you to read, or if any notification kind of stuff that comes to you, that will be available in this bell notification. And this is called accessibility. Accessibility, nothing but if you wanted to enlarge the fonts, or if you want to enlarge, example, if you click that, if you wanted to change you use the screen reader, or if you want to change the color contrast, change the font size, you can make use of accessibility. Okay, and you can save that.
Lakshmi, favorites will be there forever and the watch list will be erased by 30 days, right?
This not favorites, it's a watch list.
Yeah, watch list will be erased by 30 days and favorites will be there forever.
Forever, yes.
Unless we delete.
Unless we delete it, that's true. Okay, and it is called show help. What does it mean? The Oracle, what has done, they have embedded the help in every page. So whenever you click on the show help, so what happens? Orange icon will be available. So let us say if I go to some contracts page, something like that, and 1 second, I will just ask my wife to move down. Yeah, sorry, I'm back. So what does this embedded help will do? Since it is not showing up anything here, so I will open another page where we can see the help. So let us say if I go to about me, and if I go to some personal information page, yes, so basically this person is not a real employee. That's why none of the information is coming up. If you log in as a real employee, we can see any of this information. So typically what happens with the help icon is, let me log in as a real employer so that it will be easy for us to do the navigation. So what I will do, I will log in as a real employer. So I have a real employer login. Okay, I'm Robert Jackman. I'm logging as CEO of Oracle demo instance, basically, Robert Jackman, and it is a real employee page, basically. This person can be, yeah, he's a VP of HR, basically. So if I go to any of the page, if I go to about me personal information, here I could see this Robert Jackman personal information. Okay. If I enable this embedded help icon, so what happens here is it will show up a help icon like this. If you click on the help, it will give a quick help like what does it is. Example, why don't I see submit resignation link in the personal information work area? Whatever the embedded help we provided, it will show up here. It is a out of the box help, and in a SaaS model, we cannot add more help tasks here, but in the PaaS model, we can add more help, custom help links here for each individual page. So here, if you expand this, you can see a quick information of you don't have this specific privilege. That is the reason you are not able to see the submit resignation link. Okay. If you wanted to know more about that help, you click on more, then automatically opens up a new window where actually you can see more details about that. You can click on the marriage. If you click on that link, it will give you detailed information of the help like this. This is detailed information of help. Terminate worker, what is the frequent asked questions, all this help information will be available for us. Okay, so yeah, so if you go home, so if you remember here, when I click on the help, we went into the help page. So it is a application help page where actually you can click, you can quickly search for any help, or if you wanted to go specific module level help, we can click on the module and look for the help. In the financials, what you wanted to look at. Do you want to look by role, or you want to look videos, or want to most viewed, or you want to look by task, maybe by assets, by expenses, by Fusion Accounting Hub, from which module you want to look at. Within that, you want to look at manage Fusion Accounting Hub, or you want to look at set up Fusion Accounting Hub, or within that you wanted to look at specific functionality like this, you can apply it and you can look at that specific related information if it is available. Okay, so this help, again, this help feature is very much enriched in the release 13 onwards. Till release 12, it was not at all good, basically, I would say. It's not as good as what we are seeing here. Okay, so it is a help page which is very much user friendly, and we could definitely use it out as and when we need help. Okay, so if I again go back here and I again go back Fusion Accounting Hub and apply, I could able to see the all help information related to the Fusion Accounting Hub. Okay, while looking at this information, again you can categorize by help type. You want to look at the videos, or you want to look at the frequent asked questions, or you want to look at the PDF guides, what you're looking for. If you are looking for the videos, you can click on that, and or you can video an example, you can look at that, and automatically it opens up some examples or videos, and you can play the videos, and then it's opening up. You can play the videos and look at how we can do the setups. It's very, very powerful tool, and I would definitely recommend you, I mean, if you have some functional knowledge, I would definitely recommend you to go ahead and start exploring it. Okay, it is called embedded help. It's very powerful feature. Okay, so again, some of the functionalities release 13, as the release 13 is a brand new, some of the functionalities may be new for me as well. I will let you know if I find it out new, and I will let you know how it got changed from release 12. Okay, right. So it is called embedded help. Until you uncheck this one again, that help will show up in every page. Okay, so I will just hide out the help, then it won't show up the help anymore. Okay, it will quickly you can look it out whatever help you need. Okay, right. So as I said, is that a question?
Lakshmi, can you also include in your list of the things to do snippet, how to create a customized snippet?
Customized snippet? What does it mean?
Snippet is the icon, right? We can customize it also based on user.
I mean, we are going to do that anyway. So
okay.
Yeah, that's a fundamental. We do that. Okay. So yeah, those kind of things. Yeah, if you think it's a basic, we will be covering in the basics. If you won't cover that while discussing the basics of the respective topic, then let me know. We can add that. Okay. So we are still at the basic navigations. I'm not going to talk about any personalizations and customizations. Actually, I'm just talking about how we can familiarize with the Fusion applications. I know some of you had been to the functional trainings already. You may be aware of these things. Many people may not be aware of the navigation, so I was trying to educate them.
No, Lakshmi,
yeah.
This was not covered in such a good way. So it's very good that you're covering all this.
Oh, great.
Course.
Okay, great. Sure. Okay.
And also, will you be sharing this PPT?
Yep. I will be sharing a PDF actually. I won't be sharing the PPTs.
The same
yep.
content?
Yep, that's right.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay.
Actually, if you would have shared this document, PPT at the end of the session, that would be great help for us. We can go through again the recording session and the related documents.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you can say maybe after 2 or 3 days, it may not be at some time, or maybe if you have any doubt, just we can go through. That's what we requested yesterday also.
Absolutely. I will. Did you get yesterday's video?
No.
Okay.
No, we didn't get.
Okay, I will check out on that as well with Ravi.
Yeah,
Okay.
I also requested Ravi last night that if he can upload videos on daily basis, because some of us are traveling and some classes we may miss,
Exactly.
Yeah. Agree. Okay. So it is a home page. So till now, whatever we have discussed, it's typically how that. So what we need to understand, it is like a Springboard, global area, and announcements, and employee news, and any social integration. And we have the embedded help page, and we have the tasks, and we have the categories. Okay. Now, the next thing here is, the very interesting thing here is, we have something called infolets. Infolet pages is very, very interesting interactive widget. Actually, small widget typically is nothing but a OTBI report. What is OTBI report? I will talk in detail about that. It's a simple, we can say, simple visual analytical report. You can say that, and it is available on the home page that provides very key information. What are you bring from your reporting tool, and every user can have multiple infolets or a few infolets or no infolets based on their security. We can configure like that. Okay, so how do we get the infolet pages? The same page, in the home page, we have something called here we have several dots. So one is called infolets. As this person is a VP of HR, they are seeing the HCM infolets. If we can also configure the finance infolets and CRM infolets, and everything will have their respective reporting snippets, you can say. It's just a data. It's nothing but a report, but it's a visual report, and where we can have it as a small widget kind of stuff. Okay, but how to create that, how to embed that, I will talk about that when I talk about OTBI reporting. Actually, OTBI reporting is nothing but a child of OBIEE, what I was talking yesterday. It's a transactional business intelligence report. So these are called infolets. So we can enable, when the person logs in, we can enable a quick information like this. We can have as many infolets as we can enable like this, and every infolet will have a front and back. Example, succession plan is there, or if we click on this, it will maximize, and it will have more information of that. That's what I'm saying, front and back. Okay, the smaller one is the front side, and bigger one is the back side. I'm just saying like that, so we can make it expand and reduce. So actually, what it is happening, it is actually trying to run the report in the back end and trying to pull the data. Okay, so that is how it is. Okay, and if you want to minimize that, you can minimize it, and you can have every user has based on the security enabled, every user will have a list of widgets available like this. This is a list of infolets available. You can configure what infolet if you have access to enable it, you can enable it. If you don't have access to enable it, you cannot enable it. You can just view it. Actually, it all depends upon how the security work. Okay, the security work, basically security of this report. It is a report. Every report will have a security. If that report has given a proper permissions to the user, then that user can choose that report to show up in this is our infolet or not. Okay, so it is an infolet. It's again we can enable this infolet in the home page navigation. Okay. So again, this report, every report is very self-explainable, and every report we can make it, hide it, or we can show it. If I hide it, then this report won't show up anymore. And if you want to bring it back, you just need to go here and make sure that whatever report you have access to.
A few are checked, a few are unchecked. What is that meaning? What is the meaning of that?
So if you are, whatever is checked, you have access to those reports actually. Whatever is unchecked and whatever is grayed out, you don't have access to that. That's the meaning of it. So
that is also based upon security, right?
Yes, everything is based on security. In the security, when I talk about security, I will talk about how the security really works to view the data. And when talk about OTBI security, I will talk about how this Infolet security work. Okay, I forgot which report I hidden.
Lakshmi, whenever we enable any kind of any Infolet, so it will be get adjusted anywhere. We can find some place, or is there a specific place for it? I mean,
okay.
On the screen.
That's a good question. So, okay, when I say Infolet, that's Infolet is a report. Okay, so Infolet is always be configured at the home page, Infolet pages. Okay, and a report can be embedded anywhere in our application pages. We can do that. Okay, so Infolet is nothing but front and back. As I said, Infolet will have a set of features. It's a report, but will have a set of features that is front and back. Front will have one report, and this is the front report, and it's a back report. So it is a combination of two reports actually. And this Infolet has some features where we can hide the Infolet and we can edit the title and views. Okay, that's a feature of in Infolet. If you ask what is Infolet, by saying this, you could say that it's a combination of two reports, and you can hide the Infolet and you can modify the title of the Infolet. I would say that I cannot embed Infolet in any of the application page. I cannot do that. But what I can do, I can embed a report in my application page. I can go to any of my application page. I can embed a report, either front report or back report.
Means we cannot create a custom Infolet or like what?
We can create custom Infolet, but we cannot. Example, if I'm going to, let us assume I'm going to about me page example. I'm going to personal information. Okay. And I want to add an Infolet here. Example, it's my requirement. I want to add a small Infolet here. You cannot add Infolet here. But what you can add a report here. Okay, you can add a report here, but not Infolet. Difference between Infolet and report is Infolet has front report and back report with set of properties. Report is just report. It doesn't have any other properties. Did you understand what I'm saying?
I did not get what.
Well, I think you are breaking.
Just trying to understand what is front,
what is report and what is Infolet.
Yeah, how it makes a difference.
Okay, so okay, I will just repeat what I was saying. So I'm into this page. So whatever you are seeing here, it is called Infolet. Okay, so example, let us say this is the Infolet. Thickness is an Infolet. The properties of Infolet is it is a combination of two reports. Okay. I'm just muting all. You can unmute yourself if you have a question. So this is the Infolet. Infolet has, I would say, three properties. Property one, this Infolet will have the front report like this. And this Infolet also have a backside. That is another report. How do I see the another report? By click on this enlarge icon. I can see the thickness. I can see the another report here. That is property 2. And I have another property for the Infolet. I can hide the Infolet. So these are three properties available for the Infolet. Report means, example, if trend of top 3 sickness regions, it is just a report. It is just a report. This report doesn't have a front or back or hiding it, anything like that. It is just a report. So it is called a report. Infolet is a combination of two reports and with some additional features. Okay, we don't need to worry on that. We are going to create a report. We are going to create an custom Infolet, and we are going to see how we can embed in the home page and how we can play around with the security. We're going to do that. Okay, so nothing to worry.
Lakshmi, if you're talking about report, means it is a dashboard report or any report which we generate using OBE or something.
So
Create.
yes, report can be a dashboard. A report can be a standalone report. A report can be a publisher report. Okay.
Fine. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So let's go back to our fundamentals again. It's infolet pages, and we have something called quick actions. Quick actions is another page. It is also available in this same thing. See here, I have HR infolets. I have help desk infolets. I can enable finance infolets. I can enable CRM infolets. Anything like that. And we have one more thing here called quick actions. Quick actions is again one more powerful tool. It performs actions without having to be familiar with the work areas. Okay, so what does it mean? So what does it mean is, example, let us say I asked you to go to homepage. You are in this page, homepage, and I ask you to create an employee. If you are a new person, what you need to do, you should know where to go to create an employee. You should know you have to go to My Workforce and you have to go to new person. You should know that. So what Oracle has given a provision that if you go to quick actions, whatever actions that are available, they said that they shown all the actions here. Whatever actions that this person can do, all those actions are available here. Okay, so any information, any whatever security role assigned to this person, as this person is a vice president of human resources, he can perform HR specific tasks. Whatever HR specific tasks this person can do, that comes from the role assigned to this person, all those actions are available here. If you want to add an employee, just hire an employee. If you click on this task, automatically you can land into the hire an employee page. As simple as such. Right here we can hire an employee. So this quick actions also very powerful and very useful tool where you can,
no need to understand about the navigation, directly you can go to the
exactly. Yeah, that's true. And another beauty what we have given in the quick actions is, example, in the quick actions, we have one more drop down. If a Robert Jackman is a manager, if this manager has direct reports and indirect reports, what Robert Jackman can do, provided the proper accesses, Robert Jackman can log in as other user. Example, Robert Jackman has Andy Belmont as reportee. You can look on Andy Belmont. As of Andy L. Belmont, you can do some actions, which is also a very beautiful feature, what you can do with the quick actions. Okay, and quick actions, we have a tile and list. If you click on the list, you will get the access in the alphabetical order in the list, so that you can look at that respective task, what you can do, and you can act accordingly.
So a manager can see all actions which are available under all the employees who are under him, right?
Yes, the direct or indirect reports. That's true.
Okay.
Okay, so that is called quick actions. Okay, so yeah, we have some quick actions, and did I miss anything else here? And whatever recent activities you do, it will show up here. And again, I'm going back to the this page, home page. Okay, now as I said, this Springboard. This Springboard, if example, if this person is more roles and this person has more number of icons displayed, and this person don't want to show up all the icons on this, and this person want to show up only specific icons. Example, this person don't want to have social, this person don't want to have employee portal to show up here, and this person has access to do that. What this person can do, every user who logs into the Fusion application will have access to this Springboard personalization. They can click on Springboard personalization, and typically they have access to all these things. So only some of things are got checked. It means only those objects are showing up in this Springboard. So what this person can do, if this person don't want the employee portal to show up, uncheck it. This person don't want to show up the social, uncheck it, and then click on OK. Then automatically those things will go away, and the minimum number of icons will show up on the application page. This personalization is very useful for a end user to customize their homepage. We are giving the end user to customize their specific home pages, which is very beautiful feature, which is Oracle Fusion is getting offered. Okay, that's
But
one
when
thing.
you went to quick keys, you can able to see those things.
Yes, absolutely, we can do. Yep. With quick links, whatever action this person has access to, they can go to quick links and they can see. It won't get hidden anything in the quick links. It will be there.
Okay, in quick links, whatever we can edit in the home page, it won't reflect in the quick keys.
Yes.
It's a default page which is given by the admin.
Exactly. That's true. Okay. Now, another beauty I wanted to mention here is we have something called, let us say we have a requirement. Okay. Example, we have something called employee directory. Okay. So this employee directory is a out of the box feature of Oracle, where you can search for any employee across the organization. Okay, so it is like a employee directory, and this employee directory has another beautiful feature. I'm searching for a person. If I'm okay, so let us say I'm searching for Robert. So there are these many robots are there. So I can look for their department location just like this, or I can see them in the hierarchy. Example, if I see this view in organization chart, I can see it in the organization like this. He's a manager. This manager has these many people getting reported, and this person is there. This person has 4 direct reports and 8 direct and indirect reports like that. Okay, so we can say it is a company level organization hierarchies chart. Okay, you have a requirement, your company has a requirement, so every company will have their own intranet portal, right? In their intranet portal, let us say you want to make this directory page available in your company intranet portal. Let us assume. Okay, how do you do that? How do you to access this directory? Typically, what we are doing, we need to log into the Fusion applications, and then they have to go to directory, click on the directory, and then only you could able to go to this screen. Okay, so my requirement is, let us say example, your company, let us say I'm just typing a company, let us Accenture. Okay, so in Accenture.com, so it's a company. Example, let us say I am into Accenture intranet portal. Let us assume. Okay, it's not opening up. Okay, so I'm in intranet portal. Let us say I want to keep a link here, link saying that directory. If I click on the directory, I should go to the directory page automatically. I hope you understand the requirement. For that, what Oracle has given something called deep link. What does a deep link is? The deep link will give direct access to that page. Okay, so direct access to the page. So okay, don't worry about this. I will talk about this. I'm just trying to show you deep link. We have something called deep link. What it will do? So you have directory. Example, we have directory. I am going to copy link location. So what I can do, I can click on this link, then I can directly go to the employment directory screen like this. So if we enable, and we have something called search feature, so you can if I click this one, I can able to go to search page directly of the employment directory. This is called deep link actually. So whatever Oracle has given the deep links, we can use those deep links only in the SaaS model, but in the PaaS model, you can create your own deep links. And I can see the large list of deep links here, and we release 12, we don't have these many deep links. And release 13, we have given, they have expanded the deep links number of tasks. Okay, so it is again very beautiful feature. So if you wanted to enable some of the features outside of your Fusion applications, or if you want to create your own custom application and you wanted to embed embed the links accordingly in your custom applications, or if you wanted to give a direct link to that specific page in the Fusion application, deep links is the place where you can get it.
It's a deep links means that doesn't require any login, right?
That's a very good question. So yes, it needs login. So as I already logged into this this user, I'm able to access it. But if you are not yet logged in, it will ask you to provide the username and password. Okay. Typically in the companies we use single sign-on. As we use single sign-on, we won't be asking the username and password once you log in. It will work seamlessly. But if you access it outside of the company network, you should give the username and password. Yes, it won't just go just like that. Security is available there, and we cannot bypass it. Okay, right. So it's a deep link, and yeah, and in the global area, I was talking about home page. Okay, and hide help, and I didn't talk about in the global area. I didn't talk about two things here. One is this navigator, company logo, and settings and actions. I didn't talk about these three. Let's quickly talk about that. So in the global area, we have apart from these things, we have something called search as well. I didn't talk about this. Search is actually another good functionality. You can search for a specific business object. Example, it's an object. Okay, so a directory is an object. Whatever I have, we just searched there. Anything like let us say I wanted to go to, let us say I wanted to make sure about me. Search for about me. So it will, here also we can quickly go and search for any specific business object actually. So I didn't talk about what is business object. I gave a brief introduction about that. So it will talk about it will search, it will do the search based on whatever string we have given, like maybe I would say navigator. Yeah, maybe it will give information about how to customize the navigator. It'll ask about same thing as help. We can quickly look for the help from here as well. Okay, it's a help, and we have something called company logo. We can change the company logo here, and how to customize, how to add the company logo. When I talk about personalizations and customizations, I'll talk about this at front color, back color, how we can make it more transparent. And another thing is this called navigator, which is very powerful. So whatever navigations we are doing here, all those navigations, whatever access you have here, right? I shown you with this person have access to all these things, and all these navigations also available from the navigator. And we can also navigate to the categories. Within the categories, they can go to the tasks, and they have access to all these things. All this, whatever the user has access, all these things will be available here as well. Okay, it is called the navigator. It shows all the categories and work areas and tasks, and also it includes another thing called setup and maintenance. Setup and maintenance. I will talk about that at a later point of time. Okay, so another thing here is the setup and maintenance. So sorry, setup and actions, settings and actions. Basically, settings and actions. Basically, what does it do? It has something called preferences. Preferences, nothing but this user can set preferences. Maybe this user want to look the time format, maybe in different format, maybe DD, MON, YYY, or this person want to have the time zone as Eastern Standard Time Zone, or this person want to have the screen shown up in the specific language, or this person want to change the photo, or this person want to change the accessibility, or change the password, and want to change watch list, and wanted to access the website. It won't work in the SaaS model. If you wanted to access the Web Center portal to maintain his documents, and you wanted to modify the expenses preferences, any preferences that at user level can be modified here. Preferences are two types. One is a global preference, other one is user level preference. Global preference is the one that you set up at the instance level, where actually you can set up at instance level what time zone your instance will run, what the global language, what is the default basic language, and what is the default date format, what is the default currency. All those things are called global preferences, and the user level preferences also we can modify it. Okay, so let's go back. And I think I have spoke about this, and I spoke about navigator and the categories and the work areas within each category that can also be called as tasks, and settings and actions, where you can click on the username in the global area and where you can set your own preferences and personalize or customize the page. Basically, this administration, typically it won't available for everyone. It is only available for the administrators. Basically, this features will be used when we customize the pages. When we customize the page or customize the global area, or if you wanted to highlight the flex fields nothing but custom fields, and how to modify how to add the custom fields. And if you wanted to go to setup and maintenance, I'm going to talk about setup and maintenance in a while, and all those things. These things won't be visible everyone just like that. It's only visible for specific set of job roles. Okay, I will talk about that. Okay, and troubleshooting here, actually record issue. If you have any issue happens in the Fusion application page, basically you can replicate that and you can start recording that before performing that task, and you can stop the recording. Once it is done, you get a diagnostic file, and you can upload the diagnostic file to the Oracle support portal, and Oracle can help us Oracle analyze those logs and identify the root cause and come back to us. Basically, that's the importance of it. Okay, and you can print me, you can print the page, and you can application help, same as the help what I was showing before. Basically, it is preventing it. So it will open a different window where we can go for the help page, basically where you can look at all your help. Okay, and we have about me, about this page, where we have seen what is the version of the. I don't know why it is. Sometimes it.
Can you show that one more time? How do you get the task sent to this particular user? What it can perform? Task, I think you showed one time. From where what is the navigation?
Which task?
Any task, user task, the creation of user, something you showed.
Yeah. So I was I mean, if I wanted to create an employee, how we can do? I was telling you, either we can directly go to, if you know the navigation, go to My Workforce, and you can click on the new new person like that. We can go to this page and hire the person, or we can instead of doing that, we can directly go to quick actions here, and in the quick actions we can click on hire. What is that? Hire an employee, and you can go and hire the employee. That, so we have two ways of navigating that. And if you don't want to go like this, you can go other way as well. Like you can go from this navigator. From the navigator, you can again go to My Workforce, and again you can click on the new person. Again, you can go and hire the person. So many ways we can do. Basically, here you have to go here and hire an employee. So many ways we can do. Either you can go from the Springboard, or you can go from the navigator, or we can go from the quick actions. You can go from anywhere and do the respective action. Okay, so right, so yeah, let's go back. So preference, as I said, we have two kinds of preferences: a global preferences and local preferences. Local, nothing but user level preferences. User level preferences, we can define the regional, language, accessibility, and watch list. And global preferences, where we can what is the application language, what is the display name. It should be, the name should be in the American English format, or what is the territory, what is the date format. How do we set the global admin preferences? We have some task called application general preferences task. If you go to this task, you could be able to perform these activities. Okay, we will talk about those preferences at later point of time. Okay, now, okay, so as we covered the overview of this main home page and different navigations, so I will go one step further into the work areas, and we'll see how does it work. So I was talking about same thing. Let us say we are hiring an employee, right? I'm going to the screen. So this is a screen. Okay, in any screen, what we have, we'll have the where we perform our work is called a work area, where we can perform our work, and every work area can have task list here. Whenever we have, you have seen 3 lines here, then that can be called as task list or tasks panel tab. Okay, and this task list and this task list will have list of tasks which are related to this work area, or which are related to the functionality of this work area. Okay, so I was trying to hire an employee. So, and here I could see hire an employee, hire a contractor, or add a non-worker, or add a pending worker, something like that. So list of tasks come up here. So it is called task panel tab, and this is called task panel. In this task panel, we have list of tasks. I am using the terminology like that because when we create ADF framework has that terminology as well. That is why I'm just making that. I could simply call it as a task list and tasks, but in ADF terminology, this is called tasks panel tab, and it is called task panel. In the tasks panel, we have the tasks. That's the meaning of it basically. Okay, so let me go to different screen. So let us say
Lakshmi, what you can do is you can create one user, and because that will be helpful for all the entire community here, because what will happen, because it is inheriting now. So we are not able to set up what is, it comes from the Vision instance, and also we can create one user, show the infolets, all these details. It would be great.
Sure. So our next session is that only. So basically before creating user, I wanted to talk about security.
Okay.
And then I create a user, assign the roles to the user, and we will see what the user can see, what user can't see. Okay, so I'm just giving overview of the navigations. I am just, all the session intention is to understand the terminology of each item, basically. That's my whole intention.
Fine.
Okay, so if you go to any screen, apart from the tasks panel tab, we also have search icon. Okay, so again, just try to understand the terminology of the Fusion application. So don't worry about, no need to bother about navigations or security, all those things. We are going to talk about that in detail in our next sessions. Okay, so it is a search panel, and it's search panel again. If you wanted to search anything specific to that specific functionality, you can do search here. It's called a search panel, and it is a tasks panel tab. Again, I said what specific tasks related to this work area will be shown up here. And again, as I said, it is called a task panel, and these are all tasks. So task panel and the tasks panel and tasks. Just remember the terminology. Okay, no need to worry about any of this functionality. Nothing to worry. Just remember the terminology. Okay, and another thing is called reports. Reports is a place where you can open the reports directly from the BI server. Whatever reports you have access to, you can go there and you can open the reports, and you can click on the report, and you can view the report here just like that. So they have embedded those functionalities just like that. So you will have access to, it is opening up because this reports goes in different server. So typically So you'll be seeing two kinds of pages. One kind of pages where you could be see these three navigations. One is to access to reports, one is to access to related tasks, and one is to search operation on the specific tasks. You can think like that. Okay, so it is one kind of page. Okay, so we have the task panel tab, and we have tasks panel, and we have a search panel here, and we have report as well. Okay, and you can click on the task panel to open the panel, and you can use the panel tabs to access features without leaving the current application, perform searches, run the reports. We can do all that. Okay, and okay, yeah, that is another thing. I will also a little bit talk about the search functionality. We have seen the search functionality here. The search functionality here, we just went and search for an object or search for the help basically. That's what we did, right? And I will go further and talk a little bit about how the search functionality work in this. So I'm trying to, as this person is a VP of HR who will have access to every employee across the application. So I'm going to person management where we can search for an employee. So whenever we go for any work area, most of the work areas or most of the pages, you can say most of the tasks, what typically happens is they can search for the information, right? So when I search for the information, typically every search page will have different kinds of fields. One field which starts with asterisk, other field which starts as asterisk, single asterisk, and multiple asterisks. When it is multiple asterisks, what does it mean? We have to provide at least one field for any of these four fields. Okay, we have to provide at least one of these four fields. What now does asterisk mean? That is mandatory. Whatever field is mentioned as asterisk, that field has to be filled anyway. Okay, don't worry how this date came up, nothing to worry about. I'm saying that if you go to any screen, any search screen, and if you're trying to search for any information, you have to understand that double asterisk means one of these four has to be filled. Single asterisk means that has to be filled for sure. Whatever fields with single asterisk, that data has to be filled. And if you have any fields which doesn't have any asterisk or double asterisk, that is optional. Okay, so here as it's already filled, I'm not to fill this, so I need to fill any of these four. So I will just go here and I will just say robot. Just I'll give the name robot like this, and I will do the search. Whenever I do the search, I will get the information here. Okay, so here again, by default, it has given this, and again, don't worry about the functionality, just understand about search functionality. Okay, so this search gave me this name, person number, national identifier, department, location, user person type. Okay, every search panel, it is a search panel. Every search panel will have actions, view, and format, and something called export to Excel. It may not be available for everything, but most of the screens it is available. So it's export to Excel. Export to Excel means whatever data available here, they will show up in the Excel sheet. Okay, and we have actions and we have view. If view means we have different columns here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you wanted to add more columns, you can go here and click on that column, and that column will get added. So it looks like I don't have access to add the column. That's why I'm not able to add it. So typically what I can do, I can, if I have access, I can add the, no. Yeah, I don't have access basically. Somehow it is not, we are not able to differentiate this grayed out or not grayed out. Yes, so I cannot
I think it is adding at the end, I think. Can you please check once?
Can you move right side?
Yeah.
Are you fitted at the end right side?
Yes, it is adding here.
Yeah, termination date. Yeah.
Somehow this I'm not able to recognize it's grayed out or not. So it is added here. So I can add as many columns as I want, or I can take out that field. So I'm just taking it out, and just like that. I can take out. So I have, so every search panel will have this view where we can add columns and remove columns, or also we can sort the columns by ascending or descending. How you can sort the columns? You can sort by what date you want to sort by ascending or descending. You can do up to 3 sortings, and you can sort the data accordingly. And also you can sort the data. We have something called arrow marks here. You can, if you do here, you automatically sort the data as per that. Okay, I want to sort by person number, and I want to sort by department. And so you can do the sorting according to, if you do here, it can be 1 level sorting. If you go by advanced sorting, then you can sort by 3 columns basically. And if you want, you can reorder the columns. If you want, I want person name first, person number first, and name later, and department later. If you want to do that, I can reorder the columns accordingly. This will be displayed here. Okay, and most of the companies don't want national ID to get available in the search page. So basically, they won't show it up. So they will just hide it in the search page, something like that. Okay, and format. So resize columns basically. If and this format won't be available in all the screens basically. And if you have access to resize it, right? If you can resize it, so you can resize it. And some of the screens where the resize options need advanced mode, in that case we can resize columns, and we can give the sizes of what is the length and what is the width of the column, and based on that these columns will get resized. So it's a generic functionalities basically. And for any search record, example, for any search record, if there is any actions that we can perform on this record, then we have 2 ways you can perform the actions. Either you can go to the end and click on this drop down action, or you can go here and click on the actions, and you can do whatever task you wanted to do. Okay, there are multiple ways you can use these actions. So it is a search. And again, search is again 2 types. One is a basic search, one is advanced search. If you click on the advanced search, you can able to do the advanced search based on the more number of fields. If you wanted to search by more number of fields, like I want search Robert based on maybe some employment type, then I can go to add fields, and I can go here and I would say I want all the robots with the person type as maybe employee, something like that. So we can add more fields to our search criteria, and we can add as many information as we can, and we can do the search. So it is called advanced search functionality. Okay, so here we are searching all the robots with person type as employee. Okay, it is called advanced search. So anywhere if you see the search page, you should see there are 2 kinds of page, basic and advanced search. If you want to go to basic page, you can go back to that. And another beauty of this search thing is we can save your search. Okay, let us think of a functionality. Same thing, let us say robot jockman. So let us say robot jockman coming to the screen, and whenever the robot jockman comes to the screen, robot want to see, maybe robot wanted to see, I'm going to advanced, maybe robot wanted to see all the people who belongs to only some location, maybe Redwood City. He wanted to see all the employees who belongs to Redwood City. That's what he wanted to see whenever this person comes into this person management page. Or this robot jockman, whenever this person want to come to this page, he wanted to search based on this criteria. Example, he don't want to enter this criteria, but he want to save this criteria. So what he can do, he can enter whatever criteria he wanted to, and he can go and save it. While saving it, it will ask what you wanted to save it as. I would say AMP Redwood City. Now it will ask for, do you want to keep it as a default search, and do you want to run it automatically when it comes to the page? If you say don't want to run it automatically, but you want to set it as default, click on OK. Then if you go back to the home page, and if you come back to the search page again using the My Workforce, and if you go to the same, if you come back to this page, by default, this criteria will be chosen. You can search it.
What is the functionality of that automatic search?
Automatic search functionality is, so I can personalize it. So what automatic search is, if you run automatically and apply it, click on OK. And if you go back to home page, and if you come back to the My Workforce and this person management, they will automatically search it. It's like keeping the criteria and clicking the search button. See, data came up automatically. So that is the importance of this automatic search. Okay. So every page where you can see the search, you will be seeing the basic search, advanced search, saving the search, and setting the properties at search level. Okay.
So whenever we navigate to the page, so it will it will display the data based on our search criteria.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. If it is run automatically, if it is run automatically, you can see that it's nothing but entering the data and clicking the search button.
The kind of default data, what we can see.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that's the importance of this search and basics search and advanced search, where we can have asterisk and double asterisk, and where we can have your saved searches. You can create any number of saved searches, make a default search, and have it run automatically. And whenever you wanted to search, you can go here and choose the example. If you have several search criteria, you can go here and click at that, and then and they can search for that search criteria automatically. Okay, so basically we need to educate these kind of things. Basically, if we ourselves working for a company, then we have to make these features effectively. Or if we are acting as a consultants, then we have to educate the end user to make use of these search features, which is very beneficial to their day-to-day activities. Okay, so yeah, and again, we have seen sorting the data and adjusting the width and hiding and showing the columns. Which column should be you wanted to show, which column to hide it, and how do you want to reorder it. And here also we can I can move the location column. I can reorder it to specific location, and I have the flexibility to reorder columns as well. So we have that level of flexibility to reorder and sort out and hiding or showing out the columns. Okay, you can play it around. It's very basic stuff. It is self intuitive to know. Okay, yeah, and there are a few more things I wanted to cover. Maybe we have 8 more minutes. I think it will be finishing in 8 more minutes. So whenever we go to, sometimes whenever we click on any person, you have something called I here. Okay, this is called, whenever you see a I, it is called information, and it's also called smart navigation. Okay, it will also say that if you click on this, it might show up what actions you can perform on this person, something like that. So it will open up another sub page where you can see what actions you can perform on this person. Okay, and you can go here or do the actions, or you can go here and you can perform the actions. Okay, so it's again it's called a smart navigation, where you can look out for the information. So wherever page you look at something called I, that is called smart navigation, and you can access additional actions or tasks using this one. Okay, and there's one more thing. Whenever you navigate to any if you navigate to the category, so here if I go to this it's a category, right? If I go to category and I'm navigating to this person management, right? So when I go there, so it will be having a film strip which is hidden by default. So if you click on the hidden strip, you can see what are all the list of other tasks available in that category, and you can navigate from here itself directly. You can navigate like this, okay? And this is called a film strip. You can navigate one work area to another work area using this film strip, okay? Okay, so here we have seen smart navigation. So I think I have covered what I wanted to cover with the basic navigation. So the typical basic navigations and the basic search criteria. So what I will do, I will start with security tomorrow, and then we talk about security and how it works, and we will start creating a sample small user, and we'll see how the security works for that user. And typically, how I begin with, like, if you start a project, so typically how we define that person is administrator, or how we define that person is implementation consultant. And from there onwards, we'll talk about how the security works at organization level, and by module level, and by employee level, and by manager level. So we'll look into those specific topics tomorrow. Okay. So if you have any questions, shoot out, else we can reconnect tomorrow.
Lakshmi, where did you select the personalized Springboard option? Where did you go to do that?
Here. So we have this.
Okay, in the setting. Okay, fine.
Where we can
once you click on that, it comes. Okay, fine.
Yes.
There's something called as info tiles also, right?
Infolet. Right.
No, also something called as info tiles, right?
Info tiles.
Is it a group of infolets? I mean, I read it somewhere.
Okay. Maybe it's a new feature, release 13. I will check on that. Info tile. Okay.
Yeah. I think the session was very good. The way you have systematically gone through the navigation, it is very important before we actually start other things,
That's true.
Because you're left wondering what is this and what is that, and these small details,
Yes. Even I am also learning by giving multiple sessions, multiple batches. I learned what is important. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lakshmi, whenever we see the documentation, there's something called update 13, update 18. What does it represent? 13 update 16, update 18.
So you're talking about me?
Oracle documentation. Whenever we see that.
Oh, okay. Right. So whenever you see any documentation about that, it specifically talks about, the first thing we'll talk about 13 means the release 13 version. Okay, and within that we might be seeing update 17b, update 17d. Typically with release 13, basically, as I said, as of now, Oracle, if any customer go to Oracle today to buy Fusion, they're giving release 13, 17b, basically they're giving that. But whatever, if I'm working release 12 now, if I go to Oracle and ask for release 13, they said they can't give it. They said that we are going to release 17d in June, and that 17d release is applicable for you. Means 17b will have some features in release 13. 17d will have more features in release 13. So it's a simple, it's like a different patches on same release. You can think of like that. So documentation perspective, 90% documentation will be the same, and remaining 10% may modify the existing features and additional features. Should be like that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. And I will talk about this help repository when I talk about security, so don't worry about that. Okay, so any more questions?
Hello.
Yes.
Lakshmi, I have small doubt, like between the technical and functional.
Okay.
I'm the new total is Fusion.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm learning now technical, is it a mandatory to know about the functional part also, or it's not required to know about the functional?
Okay, so it depends. It depends on like if you have a strong functional consultant working with you, then you no need to know anything about the functionality. Okay, so if you don't have a proper help from the functional consultant, then it is good to have the basic knowledge on the module what you're working in. Okay, example why I'm saying that, let's talk about outbound integration. Let us say you want to send a file to a bank. You want to send a file to your bank, then you have to generate a file from the finance application. If you want to generate a file from the finance application, if you have a strong functional consultant, that functional consultant will give you what typically what data you have to fetch, what fields you have to fetch, and you can easily write down the queries or write down the logic. If not, then we should know the basics of those tables probably. I mean, as I said, if you have good functional consultant, you don't need to do that. They will provide it. If not, then it would be good if you have a basic functionality of that module, and you can work together with the functional consultant, and you have to get it from that functional consultant basically. So it works in both ways. But I have seen people who had very good functional expertise. They completely help what needs to be offered to the client, and technical person will just follow it and develop in whatever way we want it to. But some cases I have seen functional consultant itself will struggle to give the requirements. In that case, technical consultant will format something and deliver something, and client will come back with more inputs and they will keep modifying it. Depends upon what kind of team you're working with.
Okay. So I suggest, as a fresher, can I join as a technical consultant?
I think you can. Definitely you can. So as we are navigating through most of the basic fundamentals of the technical concepts, which you can relate it to any application, and the main difficulties you might having in the real time, probably, as I said, when we do the outbound integrations, that is the time maybe you need to learn little bit functionality of the project of what you're working in, and if you're remaining most of the parts, you can work on your own with enough technical knowledge.
Okay.
So what you can do now, just let's connect after this call together, and we can talk more on it. Okay. So I will just provide my email ID to you, and we can talk on it.
Okay. Okay. Once you provide, I will connect with you.
Yes.
Lakshmi?
Yeah.
Can you just give a quickie, like a quick for watch list and favorites? I just missed on that watch list.
So this favorites, right? Example, you want an employee directory. So if you wanted to add this to your favorites, you can add it to your favorites, basically, whatever screen you are looking at. Okay, you can add to your favorites that employee directory is your favorite. So such person, you can name it as such person, and you can create new folder for your favorites. And it's like any bookmarks, how you do in your browser. So you can save and close. So if you go home and if you look at your favorites, there you can see your favorites are there. Like such person is your favorite. You can click on such person. It will directly go to the respective screen, the such screen, probably something like that. And this watch list is basically you can have the maybe you create a new report. That new report is getting created every weekly probably, and whenever a report is created, you want to make sure that is in your watch list, and you want it to navigate quickly to look at that specific report or specific task that is getting populated on a frequent basis, and you can access it from there. So I will demonstrate this watch list probably when we go further, but for now think like that, and that watch list will go away for every 30 days.
kind of notification also it is like reports notification, right?
Yeah, you can think of like that. Yeah. And where you can access that report directly from that watch list.
Okay.
Report or agents, something like that. Narayana, can you ping me your email ID?
Sure, sir. I'm being.
Yeah.
What is the tool they must have used to develop that report?
I think your voice is breaking.
Is it clear now?
It's still breaking, I guess. So
Lakshmi, can we have your email address as well, so that if we have any doubts, we can just email you sometime?
I will send out.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you don't have any questions, you can drop off, and we can connect tomorrow. So I think Mehagri, you have some question, right? So I'm not able to hear your voice. So
Yeah, that's fine. So I will send out an email.
I think I can hear you now. Yeah, you can.
Oh, okay. No, my question was, what is the tool they must have used for the page development?
It is ADF, sorry, JDeveloper.
Because it has so much flexibility in,
Right.
so many things and search criteria.
Right. So if you see the browser, you have something called faces here. So it means it is using Java faces to create this page. So this Java faces in the ADF framework, application development framework, and typically they use JDeveloper to build those kind of pages. So we will build a few basic pages. So I mean, I cannot guarantee that I can replicate this kind of flexible page, because I'm not extending the Fusion page. I will be creating a new standalone page. So we will see that how good we can do. Okay. So okay, thank you everyone, and let's meet tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.